Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Kitori jai kitor 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 kitori jai kitor kitore jai kitor kitori jai kitor kitori kitor kitori jai kitor kitore Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Subhadra Jaya Subhadra Jaya Baladeva Jaya Baladeva Baladeva Jaya Baladeva Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Gaura Hare Nitai Gauranga Jai Gaura Hare Gora 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 Hare Gora 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 Hare Gora 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 Hare Gora 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 Hare Jagate Nandana Jagate Nandana Jagate Nandana Jagate Nandana Jagate Nandana Gora Hare Jagate Nandana Gora Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Bol Premanande Hari Hari Bol
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय ISKCON शिकागो न्यू सेवा कुंज धाम की जय Their most merciful Lordship Shri Shri Kishore Kishore की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatanganakadare Hito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yato Yamitato Narasimha Bahe Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapate प्रपते तव कर कमल भरे नाखामद्भुत सिंगा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुरेन्द्र केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल रे नाथामद्भुत सिंगा ललिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुरेन्द्र केशवधृता हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंह देव नृसिंह देव नृसिंह देव जय नृसिंह देव जय नरहरि 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 जय नरहरि जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्री श्री विघ्न विनाशक सिंह देव भगवान की भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us for tonight's Krishna Fest. I'll come back at 6:30 and make announcements of different festivals and programs. But for now, I'd like to do a little housekeeping. All those persons who are sitting to Maharaj's right, can you please move this way so that you can see the projection on the wall plus the books that are being set up here, and more people will join us. And please leave an aisle at the back for people to come up to the altar, so if the ladies can move up. There's enough space in the temple room, so you don't have to. Please on the back, please move up. Yep. Hare Krishna. Nice to see you. So tonight's Krishna Fest lecture will be given by His Holiness Romapada Swami. His Holiness Romapada Swami is the governing body commissioner for the Midwest region and also an initiating spiritual master in the Hare Krishna movement. He's been a Bhakti Yoga practitioner for more than 45 years, joined right after college, and travels, teaches, speaks and inspires our Midwest region for the expansion of Krishna consciousness. And he's available after class if you'd like to speak with him one-on-one. So from now to 6:30, please stay. And at 6:30, please don't leave, and I have announcements to make. So I have some very exciting news to share with you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Do you know how to play harmonium? No? Okay. Sri Rupa in the audience? No. Huh? Jai Radha Madhava? Harmonium? Yes? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Bhadabha Girivardhari Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Vedana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijagacharya Astapati Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Ki Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. Are there any new people here that do not know what Srimad-Bhagavatam is? Could you raise your hand? Okay. So I'll be looking over your way a bunch because I want to make sure you stay with us. Not so familiar. You've heard of it before, Srimad-Bhagavatam? No. Okay. It's a nice book. Here it is. In 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, plus 6 more volumes. It's a big book. It's a classic literature. Well, where I'll begin is the title. The Srimad-Bhagavatam is the true refuge in Kali Yuga. So if you don't know what Srimad-Bhagavatam is, you probably don't know what Kali Yuga is either, right? Okay. Vedic picture of time is what we commonly experience. Time moves in cycles. and cycles again. It's like day and night, summer, fall, winter, spring, year, decades, centuries, and so forth. Time cycles. And the ages of mankind, there's a bigger cycles. There's 4 of them, and they follow one after the next, just like summer, fall, winter, spring. So there's the golden age, where duration of life is very long and qualities are very exalted, and then it deteriorates and deteriorates and deteriorates, in the most degraded or fallen age of the 4 is this one, the one that we're in now. According to the Vedic picture of time, it's called Kali. And Kali literally means quarrel and strife. Over trifles, over nothing, people will argue and have contest or contention with one another, tension within, dissension within people, within an individual and between people. Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel. So Srimad-Bhagavatam is being described by its author as the true refuge. In that dark age, there's some light, and we'll hear something about that. The light of the Bhagavat. And the next slide is, we're honoring this year the 50th anniversary. You see all these posters on the wall, 50th, 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 all these over here. We're honoring the anniversary of establishing the Worldwide International Society for Krishna Consciousness that was incorporated in the state of New York under New York State Religious Corporation Law as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In fact, I'll just show you this is the document that was typed in a manual typewriter in July of 1966 and submitted to the state of New York for review, because by law, when you form a formal entity, a corporation, it's important to have the government review the purposes for which you're forming. So we were submitting this under Article 10 of RCL, Religious Corporation Law. I've learned this from my involvement there. They have to see what your purposes are to see if it matches what the government says it's okay. It's suitable for this particular category of organization. So Prabhupada established 7 purposes. And interestingly, 11 years previously in India, some land was donated and then it was taken back for establishing a temple. And Prabhupada established a charitable organization, because that's what you do in India, called the League of Devotees. And it had a set of purposes which are quite similar, not identical. The language is slightly different 11 years previously. But the point is, that I wish to share is, this was a long-standing, it wasn't kind of, hey, we have to come up with some purposes, here's some good ones. It was deeply thought out, and specifically following his spiritual master, because his spiritual master, his means Prabhupada, Prabhupada's spiritual master, had established an organization in India, and it had its purposes. So following his spiritual master, he was establishing in the West, in New York, an organization with similar, if not identical, purposes, and the language of those purposes shows up here. So the second purpose of those 7 is propagating a consciousness of Krishna. And we'll go through them, at least the first 2. Here's the first one. They follow very logically. So the first one, very nice. So last week I'm pointing towards Naperville. Last week, I was in Naperville, and I spoke on this purpose number 1. So logically, I'm going to speak on purpose number 2 here in Chicago. So here's purpose 1. To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life. So it's knowledge and techniques. Purpose? In order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. I should have a nice image to show. I didn't think of it. There was a poster that Prabhupada made when he published volume 1, actually part 1 of Canto 1. A picture of, it's black and white, picture of Prabhupada in a very formal, serious sadhu pose, just, bust from his shoulders up, looking at you very seriously, with the ambassador of peace and goodwill from India. Message of peace and goodwill, this Srimad-Bhagavatam. That's how he saw it. And how did he see it bringing peace and goodwill? It sounds nice, but how does it bring peace and goodwill? Well, it brings peace and goodwill, or unity within the world, because it elevates consciousness to the spiritual platform. So what's it like on the material platform? It's the age of Kali. It's quarrel and strife. Because in this material world, it's a place of duality. Wherever there's this, there's that. If there's light, there's dark. If there's happy, there's sad. If there's pleasure, there's pain. If there's wet, there's dry. If there's black, there's white. It's a place of duality. And then this clashes with that. It's just the nature of the place. It's the nature of the place. So to elevate one to the spiritual platform is the platform of unity, the platform of absolutism, where there's variety, but there's no clash. It's a nice concept, but it works if one follows very carefully the method and the teaching. So therefore, the knowledge and the practices that bring one. When there's an imbalance of values, supposing there's a society that doesn't have very much spiritual wisdom. So in the absence of spiritual wisdom, it's material consciousness. In material consciousness, you have something that I want. Or there's resources of earth, and the resources of earth are needed to get what I want. And somebody else, a whole bunch of somebody else's want those resources. So we fight over the resources so that we can prosper, because material prosperity is the secret to happiness. At least that's the expectation, the hope. It's a whole subject. It doesn't bring happiness. It promises happiness, but it doesn't bring happiness, and therefore whatever one has, one needs more. Or another variety of it to make happiness happen that never happens. It's like water in a desert. By nature, a desert is a place with no water. So searching for water in a desert is likened to searching for happiness in the place where there's no happiness, the material world, where spiritual happiness is the position of true happiness. That's the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam. So how to get there? And what does that happiness feel like? Well, knowledge and the practices take one there. So Prabhupada wanted to propagate that. So that there's needs of the body. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, same thing that animals do. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Animals do. So these bodies also have those needs. So take care of those needs, but happiness is not found in an abundance of those things, increasing the variety and the quality of those things. imbalance of values makes for turmoil in society. So, I'm not going to speak the Sunday lecture from Naperville, as I did that last week. But that's the first purpose. And then, naturally, logically following is with spiritual knowledge, what's the purpose of that? To propagate a consciousness of the source of all spirit and all matter. And that's Krishna. So propagating a consciousness of Krishna, as it is revealed in Bhagavad Gita. You've heard of Bhagavad Gita, right? Yes, good. Yes? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is sometimes compared to the undergraduate study, and the Bhagavatam is the graduate study. Very easy. It takes the messages of Bhagavad Gita and obviously expands them into many, many, many further elaborations on the topics that are found in Bhagavad Gita. But the topic of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam is Krishna, and from the pages of both literatures, Krishna emerges, and consciousness of Krishna becomes awakened. So I'm going to speak on this second purpose. And where I'm going to start is from Canto 12 of Srimad-Bhagavatam, Chapter 2. There's 12 cantos, 18,000 verses in this wonderful literature. So the final canto speaks about what this age of Kali is like at the end. The deterioration and degradation and finer qualities diminish, until it describes in Canto 12, I'll show you some verses, what's it like at the end of the night of the age of Kali. And it's not a pretty picture. Here we go. Symptoms of the age of Kali. Shukadev Goswami is the speaker. He's the son of the author, Vyasadev. So Shukadev Goswami said, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. There's 16 verses, so bear with me. In Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth, proper behavior, and fine qualities. I can think of a presidential candidate that fits this description. We won't mention any names. And law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. Without money, how can you get justice in the age of Kali? It's very expensive. Very expensive. Not guaranteed either, but if you don't have money, you're not going to get anywhere in the justice territory. Men and women will live together merely because of superficial attraction, and success in business will depend on deceit. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex. This is 5,000 years ago, making this prediction. And a man will be known as a Brahmana just by wearing a thread. So in Vedic culture, those who are receive special mantras for special procedures of purification, one receives the thread for chanting those mantras. So whether one has the qualification or not, just wear the thread and one's considered nice, a Brahmana. A person's spiritual position will be ascertained merely according to external symbols. And on that same basis, people will change from one spiritual order to the next. A person's propriety will be seriously questioned if he does not earn a good living. And one who is very clever at juggling words will be considered a learned scholar. Now, Prabhupada really picked on this one. I attended a lecture. It was really funny. He was saying that it's challenging scholarship and scientists in particular. They come up with some theory, and the theory is so abstract, when they explain it, it sounds like gobbledygook. And then he made some sounds. They say, and people can't understand what they said. I said, oh, it must be very true, because I can't understand a word of it. He didn't quite do it like that. He made it sound a little more like it was language. But by word jugglery, something may sound difficult to understand and therefore must be true because I can't understand it, kind of thing. Whereas truth is very direct and forthcoming, very clear, and not so difficult to understand. Further symptoms of the age of Kali. A person will be considered unholy if he does not have money. And hypocrisy will be accepted as virtue. Marriage will be arranged simply by verbal agreement, and a person will think that he is fit to appear in public if he has merely taken a bath. Now, Prabhupada spoke about this when he was starting the Hare Krishna movement at 26 2nd Avenue. It was in the Lower East Side, a counterculture era, where many people were, I don't know if you know this term, squatters. Means abandoned building. So they would go and inhabit the abandoned building, and that became their home. And eventually, the squatter would claim proprietorship of that place, although it was just beat up. And they had no bath. So once a week they would come to share each other's, somebody had a shower, so they would go take a bath once a week. The first time I visited in China, I was visiting in Beijing. It's kind of in the northern part of India. And somebody was visiting, a Chinese young man from Outer Mongolia, which is just above mainland China. And nice young man, seemingly, well-dressed and, nice in his appearance. But he was asking, how do I take up the process of Krishna consciousness? So I was describing, vegetarianism and, elements of goodness, bringing them into your life are important, and regulation in your habits and cleanliness. And somehow, I forget how it came out, but he indicated that he lives in the very northern part in the mountains, and he was accustomed to taking a bath once every 2 or 3 months. I tried not to react. But I said, now that you're living, a life in practicing, cultivating a life of devotion to Krishna, you should take a bath every day. And he made a face like, take a bath every day. I didn't see the young man later. I don't know what happened. A sacred place will be taken to consist of no more than a reservoir of water located at a distance. And beauty will be thought to depend on one's hairstyle. Now, Prabhupada was remarking about this in terms of the hippie movement, where long hair was considered, not only fashionable, but a sign of beauty, or something like that. Filling the belly will become the goal of life, and one who is audacious will be accepted as truthful. He who can maintain a family will be regarded as an expert man, and the principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. There's so many things to say about all of these, but I have to get to the end, so I'll just keep going. Prabhupada told a little story once about he was meeting with the mother of one of the devotees at 26 2nd Avenue. Is everything all right? You think so? I hope so. Okay. He was meeting with the mother of one of the young devotees at 26 2nd Avenue, and Prabhupada asked, a cultural type of question. Is it, do you have any thoughts about your son being married? And, because Vedic culture, that's one of the duties of parents, is to see that their son or their daughter becomes properly situated. So the mother said, yeah, my son can become married. He has a job. He can maintain a wife and a family, so he can get married. That would be all right. And Prabhupada's comment was, I could understand in your country, it's quite an accomplishment to be able to maintain a household. It's success. As the earth thus becomes crowded with a corrupt population, whoever among any of the social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain political power. Again, I can think of a presidential candidate that's matching a number of these descriptions, audacious and so forth. But it's a long list. I'm not going to continue beyond the next one. Losing their wives and properties to such avaricious and merciless rulers who will behave no better than ordinary thieves, the citizens will flee to the mountains and forests. And as you can see, it goes on. There's several other verses describing the perils of this age. It's a dark age. I'll read the last one. By the time the age of Kali ends, the bodies of all creatures will be greatly reduced in size, and the religious principles of the followers will be ruined. The path of the Vedas will be completely forgotten in human society, and so-called religion will be mostly atheistic. The kings will mostly be thieves. The occupations of men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence. And all the social classes will be reduced to the lowest level. Cows will be like goats. Spiritual hermitages will be no different from mundane houses. And family ties will extend no further than the immediate bonds of marriage. Most plants and herbs will be tiny, and all trees will appear like dwarf shami trees. Clouds will be full of lightning. Homes will be devoid of piety, and all human beings will have become like asses. Not very complimentary, and not very inviting to look forward to. But the Bhagavatam describes that's the influence of time. As time moves and moves and moves, these things happen. You see this tree outside the window? This big, whatever it is, oak tree? There was a time when those two big branches were extending. So somebody, this is so many years ago, there was a huge steel chain put around them. Yadvacharya, you remember that chain? Just to keep the one branch that was going like that from going too far, maybe, endangering the building or something. So it was there and just there and there and there, and finally the tree just kept growing and the chain burst. Kali Yuga is like that. It just keeps going and deteriorating, and as much as one may try to make it a better place, it keeps deteriorating fast. Especially through technology, it accelerates the rate of deterioration very fast. It can do good things and it can do very detrimental things fast. Depends upon the consciousness or the character of the person that's holding the tool, how it's used. Like a knife in the hand of a surgeon can do miracles, and that same knife in the hand of a criminal can do great harm. So the age of Kali is accelerated very swiftly through advancements of modern science and technology because of the paucity of character, going back to the first item, checking the imbalance of values. So without that being corrected, how are you going to propagate Krishna consciousness? So the message of the Bhagavatam says, nice image on the left, this is Vyasadev holding up the light of the Bhagavat, which is Krishna, into the dark age of Kali. In the Srimad-Bhagavatam Canto 1, there's a question by the sages who have assembled at the beginning of the age of Kali, what to do? The age of Kali is so bad. Prayinal payushak shabya kalavasman yugajana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrata. This word manda means bad. Bad and bad and bad and bad. Manda bhagya, unfortunate. The compassion diminishes, duration of life diminishes, character diminishes, interest in spiritual life diminishes. And even if someone has interest in spiritual life, they get cheated by misleading people. And above all, the verse says everyone is disturbed. So this happens after Krishna departs. When Krishna departs, where are religious principles to take shelter? Where's the upliftment of society to higher values? That's the question. And this verse is the answer. Krishne svadhamo pagate. The translation reads, this Bhagavat Purana is as brilliant as the sun. And it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode. So just the explanation that I've heard Prabhupada speak on this verse many times. The sun sets on the western horizon. It rises on the east, full day, sets in the west. And after the sun sets, it's darkness. So similarly, Krishna departed, Kali Yuga begins, the darkness of the age of Kali begins. But shortly after the departure of Lord Krishna, like the setting of the sun in the west, the moon may rise on the eastern horizon. And if it's a full moon, especially the full moon that's as brilliant as the sun, and then it gives light into this dark age of Kali. That's what the verse is saying. It gives light into this dark age of Kali. And Prabhupada's explanation is, the light of the sun is sometimes very hot, especially in the summertime. Scorching hot and can be uninviting, get burned or sunstroke or even die. So hot sometimes. But the moon is very cooling and soothing. So similarly, when Krishna came, he annihilated the demons with his astras, his gada, and his chakra. He annihilated the demons. But when the Bhagavatam comes, it's very soothing and cooling. not hot like that. It relieves the population that hears it of demoniac mentality. Very soothing and cooling, like the rays of the moon. But as brilliant as the sun. Very nice poetry. I hope you can appreciate. The whole of the Bhagavatam is filled with such beautiful poetry. So this is the end of this little section. The Bhagavatam gives relief to this dark age of Kali. It's the shelter and light in this dark age of Kali. So what is the Srimad-Bhagavatam? There's a very wonderful description within the Bhagavatam of what it is. It's the literary incarnation of Krishna himself. He departed on the western horizon, but he appeared shortly thereafter in the literary form. And it was compiled by a literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Vyasadev, a Shakti-Vesha avatar, an empowered person to give this wonderful literature that's non-different than Krishna, which is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. This is just the translation of these messages, what the Bhagavatam is. So there's a chart showing the different parts of the four Vedas. Four Vedas over here, the Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva Veda. And then there's Dhanur Veda, the Veda of military skill, Ayurveda, the Veda of medicine, and so forth. Anyway, without going through all the parts, this is vast. And Vyasadev compiled in this beginning of the age of Kali, recognizing all these bad features of people, that they would have short memory, so he wrote it down. Because previously it wasn't written, it was just by oral tradition, from teacher to student. But people today have short memory, so he wrote it down and divided it and compiled it in all these different elements. And after doing so, the text explains, he still felt something's not right. He felt despondent. He felt a pinch in his heart. And he was wondering, why is that? As he was feeling those feelings, his spiritual master, Narada Muni, came. Here's Vyas. I'm feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. So why am I feeling this feeling? And Narada instructed him, you've given, what you wrote is correct, but you've given too much emphasis on fruitive activities, the karma kanda section of the Vedas, for those who are familiar with the language. Vast parts of the Vedas are how to fulfill desires. And as a result, you've not sufficiently glorified the personality of Godhead. Here, you have very broadly described the four principles, beginning with religious performances. You have not described the glories of the personality of Godhead, Vyasadev. So then he gave him an instruction. Sit down in trance of meditation, and what you realize in that trance of meditation, write one literature just about that. So he did what his spiritual master said. He fixed his mind in trance and samadhi. And in his realization, which is found in the pages of the Bhagavatam, he saw certain things. And mentioned, because of time, I'm not going to go through it all. It's a very, very important section of the Bhagavatam, because it's the essence of the Bhagavatam. But he saw Purusham Purnam, which means he saw the personality of Godhead in his fullness, which means he saw Radha and Krishna. Jiva Goswami says, if someone says, oh, last night, actually it's coming up soon, Balaram's appearance day, in 4 nights from now, I will see the full moon. You don't say, and also I'm going to see the effulgence around the moon. Because it's understood, if you see the full moon, it's a no-brainer. You see the effulgence around the moon. You may not say so. So Vyasa saw the Supreme Person in full, means he saw Radha Krishna. And he saw the living entity. And he saw the feature of the Lord's external energy behind him. Then the next verse says he saw some of those living entities struggling very hard for happiness. Although they're transcendental like Krishna is transcendental, they think themselves otherwise, like us. We think ourselves as a product of matter, this body. Paropi manyate anartam. Although we're transcendental, we think atmanam trigunatmakam. Although we're spiritual, we think we're material. Product of matter, this body and the mind. Then he also saw, the next verse, he saw some living entities becoming liberated. Then he understood the process of, through the process of bhakti, and by oral reception of this message of Srimad-Bhagavatam, one can come to that stage, but people in general don't know. And so he compiled the Bhagavatam, and then he taught the Bhagavatam, this is Vyas, he taught the Bhagavatam to his son, Shukadev. And then Shukadev in turn spoke it to the king, Maharaj Parikshit, and in the audience was Sutta Goswami, who then spoke it to this vast array of sages in the forest of Naimisharanya. So that's what Srimad-Bhagavatam is. It's Krishna, or the message of Purusham Purnam, the message of the transcendental Supreme Person beyond material creation, and the source of it. It's disclosing Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. The subject of Krishna awakens our dormant Krishna consciousness. So that's the subject matter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And it describes the process very nicely. Here's one of the verses of Srimad-Bhagavatam. This is the second verse of the whole 18,000. Very famous one. For those of you that are new, all of this doesn't mean so much. Sorry. But it's the subject matter. Dharmak projita kaitavo traparamo nirmat saranam satam. Very, very well-known verse from the Bhagavatam. I put in highlights that this literature is sufficient in itself for God realization. What need is there of any other scripture as soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam? By this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within the heart. Now what does that mean? Because we know from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. He's there, but we're not conscious that he's there. This is saying the propagation of consciousness of Krishna. Right, purpose number 2 is hearing of this Srimad-Bhagavatam. So we become aware of, consciously aware, even in our movements as we go about our daily activities of life, working and cooking and studying and walking and thising and thating, shopping, doing, living life, being conscious of Krishna within the heart. How? Just by attentively and regularly hearing this message. It's mystical, but it's also scientific. That is, the experiment, observation, conclusion. I invite you all to this wonderful experiment. Hear Srimad-Bhagavatam every day and see if what it says happens. I'll testify, it happens. Your consciousness changes just by hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam. It's not an intellectual thing. You don't have to be a big scholar. Just have to hear the message attentively and submissively and regularly. And transformation of consciousness happens. It's not an information thing, it's a transformation thing. Transformation of consciousness. Awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness, which is the second purpose of ISKCON. Later in the last chapter of the whole Srimad-Bhagavatam, it speaks verse after verse about the Bhagavatam, and one of them is this one. Speaks of the Srimad-Bhagavatam as the Paranam Amalam. Amalam means spotless, no touch of the modes of nature. Because even in the mode of goodness, according to Bhagavad Gita, in the mode of goodness, there's some mix of passion and ignorance. In the Srimad-Bhagavatam, there's no mix. Just like Krishna there's no touch of the modes of nature with Krishna. There's no touch of the modes of nature with the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Here's what it says at the bottom. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad-Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, likewise becomes completely liberated. I'm thinking, we just had this past week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we had a North American GBC meeting right here in the Chicago temple. It's very nice having those very senior devotees attend, and one of them was Vyasadev Prabhu. Those of you that know him, just hearing his name, you go, wow, Vyasadev Prabhu. He's such a wonderful devotee. He told this little story. He lives in near San Francisco in a house kind of in the countryside, not like urban. And so he told us right here in the temple room, in that area there's no bugs and flies and things, so they don't put screens on their windows. So it was the summertime, he had the windows open, and a bird flew through the window into the kitchen. So he wanted to help the bird get free, so he opened all the windows in the kitchen. The bird thought otherwise. He's trying to harm me. Fear. So he flew from the kitchen and went to the living room with his eyes filled with terror. So then he opened all the living room windows. The bird looked in with terror and flew and went into the bedroom. He opened all the bedroom windows and went into his wife's bedroom and opened all the windows in the house. And he was describing the bird was just looking at him with fear and finally flew out the window. And his comment was, that little bird is me. Krishna is making the arrangement to escape this, become completely liberated. He wants that for us. He's providing so many avenues and opportunities, and we're filled with fear. No, no, no. But the opportunity for spiritual enlightenment is being encouraged. Please take it. That's Srimad-Bhagavatam. It's described elsewhere that it's the mature fruit of the Vedic tree. So the Vedas are called the Kalpa Taru. Kalpa means desire and Taru means tree. A desire tree is interesting. A mango tree can produce mangoes only in season. A banana tree can produce one kind of fruit, bananas only in season. An orange tree can produce only oranges in season. But a desire tree can produce any amount of fruit in any variety in any season. And not only fruits, but a desire tree can produce anything. And the Vedas are compared to a desire tree. That is, you want health, you want wealth, you want longevity, you want this, you want that, the other thing. The Vedas give a prescription how you can get this, that, and the other thing. It's a desire tree. And then there's the ripened fruit. At the very top of the tree is the best of the fruits. Love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The pinnacle perfection of consciousness. And that's what the Srimad-Bhagavatam delivers. It's the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. That's this phrase at the beginning. You'll see it in the next verse too. Sarva Vedanta Saram Yad. Here it is again, Sarva Vedanta Saram. He is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. One who has felt satisfaction from its nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. I'll tell a little story. I'm running out of time. I hope you don't mind hearing a story. Some of you know this devotee, Gaura Shakti, from South India, from Chennai. He's from an Iyer family, as is his wife, which means they're Shiva worshippers in the line in which he was born and his wife. When they were married, it was one of those torturous 3-day weddings. We don't know what those are like, but I've heard about them. It was long. So he noticed that his grandfather, I'm trying to make the story short, but it's really nice. His grandfather, throughout the entire 3 days, was reciting something from memory. So he was really curious. And the third day, towards the end, he asked his grandfather, "What was it that you were reciting?" And he said, "Srimad-Bhagavatam." And he said, "Granddad, you're a Shiva worshipper, and Srimad-Bhagavatam is Krishna Bhakti. I'm very surprised." And his grandfather said 2 things. "My whole life, I've just studied books. You know me. I just read books, and I've read so many books. But when you started becoming a Krishna Bhakta, I became interested. What is it that he's attracted to? So I got a copy of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And when I started reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, I didn't want to read any more books. In fact, I committed chapters and cantos to memory. It's just such a nice literature. And then I thought, how auspicious it would be for my grandson's wedding if I just recited from memory chapter after chapter after chapter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So that's what I did. Gaura Shakti was amazed. When he told me the story, I was also, because if you know that kind of person, the bookworm type, they just like to read books. It doesn't matter what, they just read books. But this was a discriminating man, a very qualified man. When he came, just touched Srimad-Bhagavatam, I don't need anything else anymore. Almost done. Not only Srimad-Bhagavatam speaks of itself this way, but the other portions of the Vedas speak of Srimad-Bhagavatam in such a glorious way. Here's 1/20th of these glorifications. Srimad-Bhagavatam is the most perfect Purana, says Garuda Purana. It's the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. For those of you that are familiar, Vedanta Sutra is the essence, compact essence of all the Vedas, and this Bhagavatam explains it. It establishes the meaning of Mahabharata. Mahabharata has so much understanding, and the Bhagavatam explains its meaning. It's a commentary on Gayatri. Gayatri is the mother of all other mantras. She's mama and the other are babies. And what is the meaning of Gayatri? Lots of people have ideas of what Gayatri means. Bhagavatam explains it. Satyam Param Dhimahi. This phrase, Dhimahi, for those of you from India, you know, it indicates Gayatri. It means meditation, but there's so many words in Sanskrit that mean meditation. Dhimahi is very specific in its application for Gayatri. And the Bhagavatam explains. Gayatri is Satyam Param Dhimahi, the topmost truth, highest truth, the absolute truth. And that absolute truth is a person. This is Skanda Purana. Skanda Purana, another one of the many Puranas, says as follows. In Kali Yuga, what is the value of collecting hundreds and thousands of other scriptures if one does not keep Srimad-Bhagavatam at home? You probably all have a library. I hope you have a Bhagavatam set in your home. If you don't, you should get one. Because Skanda Purana says it's useless if you don't. How can a person be considered a Vaishnava in Kali Yuga if Srimad-Bhagavatam finds no place in his home? Even if he is a learned Brahmana, such a person should be considered very low-born. O Narada, wherever Srimad-Bhagavatam is present in Kali Yuga, there the Supreme Lord goes. You'd like Krishna to live in your home with you, bring Bhagavatam. Skanda Purana says, he'll live with you. Any human being who daily reads with devotion even one verse of the Bhagavatam, O sage, will obtain the benefit of studying all the 18 Puranas. So not just keep it in your home, but read one verse a day. It'll take a while to finish. 18,000 days before you finish. Here's another. This Srimad-Bhagavatam is the greatest of all the Puranas. I have to go quickly. Padma Purana speaks that the Srimad-Bhagavatam is the literary form of Krishna. Yeah. Srimad-Bhagavatam has appeared as his very self. The painting shows the bottom feet of Lord Krishna are the first and second canto. His thighs are the second and third and fourth canto, etc. It's just the body of Krishna is the cantos of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. I'm trying to finish quickly. It's so easy to speak volumes about this wonderful literature. Srimad-Bhagavatam has all that any good book has and more. One's heart becomes purified. The process is described in these verses. And when the heart becomes purified, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, manifests within the heart. Here's the verse. Persons who hear Srimad-Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time. Doesn't say how long. Short time. The consciousness of Krishna, exactly the purpose number 2, becomes propagated or manifest by this Srimad-Bhagavatam. Like a magnet attracts iron, Srimad-Bhagavatam attracts good fortune. People wish good fortune in their life. Would you like good fortune in your life? Read Srimad-Bhagavatam. Like a magnet attracts iron, Srimad-Bhagavatam attracts good fortune into your life. That's what the Bhagavatam itself says, 8th canto. The deity of Krishna, just like Kishore Kishori is the deity form, but the Bhagavatam is also a deity form. The early days of the Hare Krishna movement, we had this wonderful activity of, it still goes on, traveling in vans, brahmacharis going here and there, all over the country with books. So the devotees asked Prabhupada, we're not in temples, we don't have deities, should we get deities in our vans? And Prabhupada's reply was, let the books be your deities. Because the book form and the deity form in principle are non-different. They're actually Krishna. Yeah, as it says, even if you just keep it on your shelf and dust it now and then, there's spiritual benefit. Enormous spirit. Just touch it, Prabhupada said. Just read one line and you can change your life. The Bhagavatam is very powerful. With the Bhagavatam comes all the great personalities. You invite nice people to your home as guests, and invite Srimad-Bhagavatam. You'll have Narada Muni and Shukadeva Goswami and Bhishma Dev and Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj and Kunti and the Pandavas and Krishna too. Take a set of Srimad-Bhagavatam to your home if you don't have one already. The whole of the spiritual world becomes manifest in your home. Your home becomes a place of pilgrimage. And finally, children like it too. I just had a conversation today with Vrajabihari. Some of you know him. ISKCON Resolve, Vrajabihari. He's been here to Chicago several times. He was just in Boise, Idaho. He works for the Department of the Interior. The person who reports to is the Secretary of the Department of the Interior. He's way up there. He was attending a mediation requirement for one of the national parks in Idaho. So he went to visit the Boise temple. And he got the good fortune of associating with Radhika Raman and his brother, both of whom, when they were still teenagers, like 14, 15 years old, got full scholarships to Oxford University. And both got their PhDs, and they were homeschooled, largely from reading Srimad-Bhagavatam. They're brilliant and wonderful devotees. Very, very special souls. So children like Srimad-Bhagavatam, and some people are very expert at engaging children in the activities of hearing and understanding the message of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Upstairs, that's what's going on in that little area up there, the Sunday school. Kids tearing up the place, I'm sure. But hearing the Bhagavatam's message and growing up with Bhagavatam in their heart and in their life. And almost finally, this is a picture of Gajendra, the elephant, who, by remembering prayers that he learned in his previous life as a king, he was rescued by Lord Vishnu from this crocodile chomping on his leg. So the Bhagavatam can save you even in your future lives. And finally, if you already have a Bhagavatam set in your home, think of someone else you can gift one to. Because here in the temple we have literatures not only in English, Gujarati, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, Gujarati, pick your language. I was just in Beijing for their ISKCON 50 celebration. I showed them the same slideshow translated into Chinese and invited the audience at the end, how many of you are convinced that you should have Srimad-Bhagavatam in your home? They all raised their hand. How many of you already have Bhagavatam in your home? Many of them already have Bhagavatam in their home. How many would like to have Krishna in the form of Bhagavatam in your home? 50 people bought sets of Bhagavatams in Chinese, all 12 cantos, published by the government of China, at least approved by the government of China and published by one of their divisions, the printing divisions. It's really interesting how they're doing this. It's cat and mouse, but it works. So those of you that have, please read. Those of you that don't have, please receive. And those that may already have one and have affection for someone else, gift a set of the Bhagavatam. That's what this one says. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad-Bhagavatam in a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. If you'd like to go back to Godhead, follow this one. It's so powerful. It's so merciful. It's so beneficial. And our founder Acharya especially appreciated receiving Bhagavatam as it was being published and speaking its message. You'll please our founder Acharya and help him fulfill this second purpose of ISKCON, propagating a consciousness of Krishna as is found in Srimad-Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Well, we went over for 10 minutes extra. And you're all very patient, most of you, for still staying and not leaving yet. So, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. So Hare Krishna. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bhagavatam. They're outside. there's a devotee at the table. If you're interested in Srimad-Bhagavatam, he'll be very happy to help you take one home.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, just hold on for a few minutes. I have some interesting and exciting announcements. So, August 25th is the appearance day, or what we like to call the largest Hare Krishna party day. It's the birthday of Lord Krishna. And it's on the 25th of August. And I have here Balaram Prabhu, who's the coordinator for the Janmashtami festival. He wants some things to share with you. And then I'll come back and do more about what's happening this week.
Hare Krishna. So, I believe this was a wonderful presentation that Maharaj did on Srimad-Bhagavatam. It is explained that in the age of Kali, Krishna appears in two forms, one through his holy name and one through Srimad-Bhagavatam. So, this year is very special because most of you know we've been talking about it throughout the year. This is ISKCON's 50th anniversary, which is a huge and is a big milestone for all of us who are members of ISKCON or well-wishers of ISKCON. So one of the themes that we have done this year, every festival that we've been celebrating, we are echoing this. You know, it's like a big thing for us that, hey, we are 50 years old. So Janmashtami, as Nityananda Prabhu mentioned, this is one of the biggest festivals within ISKCON, the appearance day of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. So we are inviting all of you to participate in this festival. Not just participate, but at the same time keep this in mind that we are 50 years old. And this is technically speaking the 50th Janmashtami of ISKCON. So it's a big thing for us. And our GPC here, His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj, who has been serving ISKCON for almost 50 years, I should say. And he's probably seen more Janmashtami than anybody here. So this presentation was indeed very, very inspiring. So one of the things that we try to do every year is we try to raise some funds. As you know, to run an institution like this and all the festivities, the Sunday feast, all the programs, we require funds. So Janmashtami is a time where we try to raise enough funds that can take us on for at least a year. So one of the things that the management here decided was that anybody who comes forward and sponsors $500 or more, we would give you the Srimad-Bhagavatam set for free. I'm saying it free, you are paying, but it's still, if you look at the value of this, you know, you're giving something, but in return, you're getting Krishna. So you can carry Krishna home with you. So this is not an ordinary thing to do. So we encourage all of you to come forward and make your donations so we can have a wonderful celebration. There are a lot of activities that are planned on this day, 25th. Again, it's a weekday, so some of you will be at work. Please try your best to come. The festivities start at 6 in the evening and will go on till midnight. So we're going to have Abhishek here on the floor. We're going to have Abhishek on the altar. There'll be Kirtan, there'll be drama. And we have a special guest, His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He'll be here for Janmashtami. So he's going to be speaking later part of the evening, doing some Kirtan. So we encourage all of you to come, participate with your family, friends. Now, there are some logistics which I won't go in details. There is going to be some devotees outside in the lobby, and they will have more details about when you come in, how is the parking like. So we're going to have valet parking, where to park, and what about the sponsorship. I didn't go over all the list. There's quite a few things that you can sponsor on that day. It's not just limited to 500. You know, just put your hand in a pocket, you'll find something and you can offer it to Krishna that day. So I always say that a donation is not a word donation if it doesn't pinch. You know, so please try to do what you can. As I said, this helps the temple and we can offer more back. As we said, that by giving 500, you're getting back Krishna in the form of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So please come forward and offer whatever little services you can. We need a lot of volunteers that day and the day before. So as I said, there are devotees outside in the lobby. You can register your name and they'll tell you exactly what services there is for you. And please do your best. This is ISKCON's 50th anniversary. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Balaram Prabhu. As far as this week is concerned, 17th, that's Wednesday, is the appearance day of Krishna's brother. So Krishna's older brother comes first, and then Krishna. So this is Lord Balaram's appearance day. Program starts at 6 p.m. and we'll have two sannyasis that evening. His Holiness Chandramauli Swami, who's coming after a whole year, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami as well. So we'll have both of them for the program. So that's Lord Balaram's appearance day. And I'm going to throw out another date that you can put in your back pocket and start telling your friends about. September 17 is our annual Ratha Yatra, or what we call Chariot Festival. And we're going to do it downtown, like last year at the Daily Plaza. And we're trying to work with the city of Chicago to give us a very nice route this year. So I don't have all the details because they haven't approved yet. We're working with them. But definitely the route will be a fascinating one. But the festivities, the rest of the festival will be at Daily Plaza, September 17th, Saturday. This year we made sure that we don't clash with the Pride Parade and, half people go there. And so it's September 17th. It's also our, what we'd like to think of it as and call it our 50th anniversary celebration. So we want to do it with the public in downtown Chicago. So please help us spread the word. Tell your friends anywhere around Chicago, Indiana, other places. Please inform them and also invite them. Okay? Thank you very much. So on your way out the door, up the stairs to dinner, you'll find some volunteers who can give you more information about how you can contribute your time and or money for the festival. And anyone who's here for the very first time, this wonderful gentleman here, Yashodanandan, he'll be standing at the door. He has a gift for you, so make sure you get your gift on your way up. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So anyone who'd like the Srimad-Bhagavatam set, please let His Holiness Romapada Maharaj know right here. He can guide you where you want to go or at the lobby.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Yajna ki.
She's coming. She's coming. She's coming. She's coming. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. Sai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shishi Kishore Kisori ki jai. Shishi Gaur Nitai ki jai. Shishi Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Rani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.